Peace and love, royal family. You know, in my study of the craft, this is the left hand craft, the gotia, magic, witchcraft, you know, magicians, sorcery. All of them have something in common. And, it was quite a fascinating research. It was quick because the way I do my research is if it don't pertain to me and my experiences or what I'm searching for, I'm not really interested in learning it. So I really just browse through stuff, which make learning or researching it simpler, simplistic, whatever you want to call it. It's a simple thing. Anybody could do it, and I advise everybody to try it. Now, the thing to this research, what was fascinating, I first ventured into witch hanging, witch massacres, into the witchcraft first, really, of it. And you see, for some reason, I could go back into the reason, and I do have a theory on it. But for some reason, England got overshadowed by a whole bunch of dark spirits that started, like, just encompassing women, mostly women. Men's too, and the natives, the Indians, they already connected with it. The blacks, the Moors, everybody was already connected, but it started infecting the English population, the whole Europe coast, that geographic location, slowly but surely from somewhere around the 1300s on all the way to the 1600s. Demonic possession started taking over in witchcraft, and you had another sect of people, believe it or not, which was the kings, King James, Queen Elizabeth, all these people, King Ferdinand, all these people now. It seemed like this dark spirit waged war against them and was trying to assassinate them, kill them, get rid of them for some reason. But they were standing on the side of the Bible, Jesus, and they decided they was going to kill everybody first who was representing this dark spirit or this dark matter being. And so a lot of people was massacred, not just in the Essex witch trials of Salem and all that everybody knows so famously, but all over the world. And so the Inquisition went on a war, religion went on a war, and they was sticking to very high ethics of beliefs. If you was too promiscuous or if you was just too spiritual or into herbal healing, you was considered a witch or, under investigation for witchcraft. Well, that's something to think about and keep in mind. Now, you look prior to that, right around the time all this was going on was when conquering started, was really at its pinnacle. Every place was conquered. All nations was displaced and put in different places. Slavery was, at its most futile. So you see that the negative spirit or this dark spirit came when land started getting captured, when people started being destroyed and oppressed. It was like a spirit came up out of everybody, out of the earth, out of the air, and attacked those that was the ones who was the deceivers. Now, in the Holy Quran, my boy, not the Holy Quran, in the Dead Sea Scrolls, it talks about the teacher of righteousness and the false preacher, and in it, the teacher of righteousness, he survived, but he died early. He died early, as a matter of fact, and it was just the false preacher that lived. And now in the book of Habakkuk or whatever, Habakkuk, that's in the Dead Sea Scrolls, it teaches you that John the Baptist was the teacher of righteousness, and he was the good preacher or whatever, and Jesus was the deceiver, the preacher of lies. And the teacher of righteousness got his head cut off and died in the beginning of this book of Habakkuk. But the teacher of righteousness went on, and the world believed in him, and he deceived the world, and the world fell into darkness. It's got a very good tie to what the monarchs of England believed and what they did. Now, if you ever look at the flag of those people in the Inquisition, and you go into the Goatee of Solomon or the Keys of Solomon, you see the spirits, the 72 spirits have a symbol they represent. And they represent, each one of them, that Christian cross. Not the one that we have, the regular cross. The one that starts off is kind of thick and then it branches out at the tip, get back small, and the bezel back out big again, get back small and come back. The original ones that them knights have on their jacket, you'll see it's on every symbol of an entity representing Baal, all of those dark spirits. That's our flag. Now, a lot of people have theories, because they see it today and never really did the research. It's kind of simple research. If you look at that cross, it's also in the Egyptian pictographs or pictures, artifacts. So, the equator to European stuff, it been around. It was already being used in Egypt and India and Sumer. All these places, the cross is there on their artifacts. So to say it's European and it's a box, opened up or unfolded to contain energy, it's just a bullshit ass story. To be honest with you, it's like the cross represent way more, it's 4 L's. It represent the 4 cardinal points. It also represent the 4 archangels that guards over the 12 zodiac signs. And the 12 is only equated to angels. Each one got a governor of it, which is an angel. All this might sound crazy, but I'm giving you facts that relate to you, the inner you, the who you are, not what you see out here. People got definitions for what they're experiencing, what they're seeing. They didn't make up these words. They didn't make up the definition either. They're translating it from somebody else who made up a lie. And then we take these lies and we feel comfortable within ourselves as a belief system. I'm not offering no belief system. I'm offering you an opportunity for you to harness energy, see spirits, unite your life, know your true purpose. This is what it offers. Now, the Goatee, it shows you the 72 spirits and what they stand for. Now, after the 12 zodiacs, 9 of them is the most important. These is the 9 that represent the 9 archangels: Michael, Gabriel, Sariel, Raphael, Ariel, and so forth. Now, they're important because they're the spirits that we can't see. They influence or communicate with the subconscious side of us, which is a matrix pattern. This matrix pattern is what you see through your eyes once you connect or activate what's called cryptochromes. Cryptochromes is the magnetic field that we all have in our eyes and on our pineal gland, especially active in bees and animals, because that's how they navigate. They navigate from the sun and the natural north of the magnetic field. And so once you're able to activate these things, you'll be able to see the matrix pattern. Once you're able to see the matrix pattern, you'll be able to see all the angels and all the different demons that govern you, that you're made of. I post a lot and I say, we don't know who we are and we don't know who God is because it's very elusive inside of us. And once you think you know, it's going to move and shift. It's going to always shift in you. You're never going to find yourself. You elude yourself with your beliefs, with what you're thinking. You're not going to really tell who and what is going on inside of you. You always got some type of way of covering it up. When I interview people and I help clients, they tell me a lot about other people, but I tell them I'm here for them. Tell me about you. And learning about themselves or talking about themselves is like learning things they never knew about themselves, because nobody really knows their inner self. It's like we got these layers upon layers like an onion that we project or characterize. We follow what other people do, including as far as we govern our relationship, love, and, socializing. It's not a natural event that we made up. So we follow. And inside, deep within us, our soul, which don't have nothing to do with the flesh. The soul don't recognize the flesh. To give you an example real quick, you got to look at it. Spirits or higher beings don't see walls. They go through walls. So they don't see physical things. And they don't, it don't exist in their world. But for us, it exists. So those two don't interact with each other because they don't see each other. Your soul don't care about your physical body. You're in your body, so it's a energy that they see and they interact with. The real you, your soul is you. But your physical body is just a vessel to move around in. Just like I said, a rock that don't move, it can't go through the air. It's stuck. But air could go through rock. You understand what I'm saying? And air is spirit. So it's certain things that can see things and certain things that can't detect other things. And that's how it works. So you're always going to have an inner conflict or duality with your soul because your soul don't really care about the mistakes you made in life or what you picked up from this conditioned world. And it has a mission to do, which is to ascend you, to prepare you for death or really life, because this is death. And when preparing you for life, it has to go through certain things. It has to cleanse you, take out the darkness inside of you of evil. You have dark spirits that make you up. And the best way I could do it is written in the Quran. That when you was created, you had two dark beings who were created with you. One to extract your soul gently and one to extract your soul very, very violently. The gentle one is the conditioned soul, and it has to be replaced when it's time for your ascension. The one that's going to be extracted violently is those that reject ascension, reject the highness of themselves, and they know it inside. And so when it's time, they're going to get terrorized, nightmares. They probably even pass out, throw up, and feel like something is trying to kill them. That's how it works. And it's there to help you. It's nothing here ever to hurt you. The philosophy is this. The material world is subject to decay because it's not ours. It's the elements that come together to form this world for us to have an experience in. In this experience, we're supposed to share everything. For us, we have parasites and bacteria all over us. Germs is everywhere. But when we have entities on us too, and spirits, we panic and freak out. We don't want to share ourselves in that manner. And so that's where the problem now comes. Because they share the world with you. They're part of your flesh. Every speckle of light you see on me creates me as a spirit. We look at spirit as big beings or aliens, as these creatures tall, 8 feet tall. It's not true. None of that is true. Our ancestors don't have aliens that's supposed to have been here millions of years in their documents and their records. No, they have entities. There's only entities. Think about it. Everything works off resonance and densities. If you're vibrating at the density to be flesh, this is what you're going to be. There's no other form really aside from that. When you're looking at other life form, you can't look for another earth with water on it as a sign of life. Everything got life in it, but you have to know what they exist off of. They don't exist off of water like us. And only anything that comes down to this frequency that comes physical, biological flesh is going to look like us. But that's not who we are. It's just a product and subject to the governing laws of this physical world, the atmospheric world. But if you was to leave this, you'll change features. Or if you was to see your soul, you will see that you're more to you. You're more for anamorphic being, a product of everything around you. You're the trees, you're the cat, you're the dog, you're the bird. Everything combined to make one being. And that's what God is, the Godhead. It's a combination of a whole bunch of things. If you ever watch my cloud videos, it shows it. Every cloud has two heads on. There's two heads on both sides. The double-headed dragon, the precursor for everything in life, because there's a portal. When you see the two heads on the clouds, the center of it could project images. Just how life is. It's a long story, and I'll be here for hours explaining it. But I just wanted you to understand a few things so you could take yourself to the next level. Separation, it doesn't mean to don't do good in life and make the best for your family and kids. It's more of an understanding, uniting your spirit and your physical. and listening to your intuition and being your intuition so we could be these gods or the ancestors who we are. We wouldn't need them if we wasn't deceived all our lives, if we wasn't taken from our homes. Everybody's displaced. There's nobody there that's from original homeland. You understand? And so with that, we lost who we are. We don't know who we are, and we follow other people's way. It's like a black person in China trying to say he's Chinese, eat Chinese food, speak Chinese, but he's not. He don't know who he is. And in not knowing that, he has a disconnection of his spirit from his soul, or his soul from his body. And that's where this problem is now. We all have to get back to our constitution and our cosmic self of who we are. And in learning these knowledge and wisdom, you understand what makes you tick, what makes you work, what you have to eat, what you have to do to discipline it, to make yourself a better person. A better person all the way around the bird, spiritually, mentally, and physically. And that's what this is about. If you don't understand these things, you're going to be caught up in what you see on TV. You're not going to know who you are. You're going to like this today, like that tomorrow. You're going to chase a false sense of happiness, always replacing it when you get it, because it's not there no more. Or you got it now, you want something else. So until we understand what I'm trying to say and where we're headed with this, you will have to first know the mistakes that was made and want to know more and want to learn and want to re-educate yourself first. But as long as you believe that what they showing you on TV or an atom is what an atom is and what they say is history, you'll never be able to wake up, because that's what they do. They're never going to teach you that you're the one who created these things, that it's you. Everything is you. They're going to keep making it like it's them or some outside force. We lost our spirituality. Everybody got an explanation for everything, but they don't tell you the cause of it, the natural forces and how it works, because they wasn't taught that. You have to wait for your master to tell you these things, then you could go back and say it to other people. I don't have to wait for that. I do my own research. I study myself. I study the cause and effect of life, nature. And in doing so, I'm able to make coincidences come true and understand them, see pattern and habitual cycles. And once you understand these things, you understand how life works and really what's going on. You know, we don't see no more space shuttle live, or we don't see space live. Everything is airbrushed and is pre-set up for us. We don't know nothing. They're not going to tell us nothing. Everything is a deception. Back to the alien things. The reason why now, like I told you, everything is resonance and frequencies. And once you resonate at a certain frequency, you're on a higher level. This is the lowest level of man, of humanity. So if an alien is a higher being, he's not going to be in a physical form. He's going to be more of an illusion, a ghost form. That's what you're going to see, because that's a higher state of being. This lower flesh and these five senses is nothing. We can't understand life this way unless you use your mind. Mind has the power to generate everything and understand everything. But as long as the physical is caught up and you're worried about what they create and is wanting to love it and use it, you'll never ascend, because, like I told you, who you are inside yourself is a very cunning individual, and it's hiding from yourself, the true self, but it acts it out in ways. It's like, you know your man cheat on you, but you don't say nothing to him. You just don't cook his food. You don't give him no sex. You know, you do a whole bunch of stuff, but you don't tell him either. It's the same way. You know, you will never find yourself until you really, 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 really come to a conclusion of who you are. And who you are is not what people dictate or what society say you are. You're an individual. You cannot be defined. You have to define yourself. All right. I'm done. Y'all have a blessed day. University of Conscious Science.